when a mysterious woman was stopped at a military checkpoint. What looked like a routine inspection turned into something no one could explain. Her bag was torn open, until a single whisper from a senior officer changed everything. "Stand down." What was she hiding? And why did everyone fall silent when they saw the patch? Military-grade optics? Civilian IDs expired. Open the whole bag. The checkpoint guards, both young and overly eager, dumped her belongings across the steel inspection table. The woman didn't react. She stood still, wordless. Then a senior officer passed by, glanced at the mess, and froze. Among the scattered tools lay a cloth patch. He leaned closer, eyes narrowing, and quietly told the guards, "Step back. Don't touch anything else. That's Ghost Recon." Her name was Evelyn Shaw. 42, a former Special Forces tech operator, now in worn civilian clothes, canvas jacket, dusty olive backpack. She had shown up at Northwell Base just after noon, holding a temporary visitor's pass, requesting access to help with a radar calibration. Private Danner and Sergeant Kells, manning the gate, checked her ID. Civilian clearance, expired 2 weeks prior. "Ma'am, I'm with you. I'm coming with you. You need to get us all out of here." Civilian clearance, expired 2 weeks prior. "Ma'am, we'll need to do a full inspection." She didn't resist. Quietly unzipped the bag. No protest, no tension, just calm. Inside were tools, a soldering iron, an optical tuning device, a folded military map, and a thick technical logbook. Sergeant Kells frowned. "Where'd this gear come from? You're not cleared to carry this." They got rougher, digging through seams, yanking open compartments, tearing lining. From a hidden slit something slipped out, a gray patch with the silhouette of a wolf dissolving into mist. No unit name, but unmistakable. Ghost Recon. Evelyn said nothing, just stared forward, with the quiet patience of someone who'd seen far worse. To the guards, she was a suspicious civilian with expired documents. What they didn't know was that they were standing in front of someone whose name had been deliberately deleted from history. Ghost Recon had been dissolved after a covert mission imploded. Officially, all members killed in action. Unofficially, a few survived, then vanished. Evelyn was one of them, existing in a limbo between forgotten and erased. Colonel Mark Ramsey was heading to a routine briefing when something on the table stopped him cold. The patch. The same emblem he hadn't seen since the blackout years. He walked toward the checkpoint, slowly. Recognition hit instantly. He turned to the guards. "Stand down. Do not touch another item. That's Ghost Recon." They obeyed, confused, but aware that a colonel's tone meant no argument. If you've ever watched someone go from invisible to untouchable in an instant, this was it. Ramsey escorted Evelyn into a back office, leaving the baffled soldiers behind. Danner whispered to Kells, "Ghost Recon? I thought that was a myth. Not even in any recent intel logs?" Inside, Ramsey faced her directly. "We believed your unit was lost in that 2012 ambush in Kandahar." Evelyn, calm as ever, answered, "That's what the records say. Some of us walked out." She placed her logbook on the desk. Inside, encrypted radio logs, calibration charts, interference reports. Ramsey flipped through a recent page and stopped. "This frequency pattern matches our recent anomalies. How do you know this?" Evelyn answered evenly, "Because your drones are being jammed, deliberately. It's not hardware failure. Someone's hijacking the signal paths." The colonel sat back slowly. "Why not bring this forward earlier? Why show up with an expired pass?" She didn't blink. "Because the last time I went through official channels they deleted my name. Ghost Recon doesn't exist. Neither do I. But your threat is real. Ramsey motioned to a tech officer through the glass. Run a handwriting match. See if it aligns with legacy Recon logs. Look for the call sign, Shadow 9. Evelyn waited, unfazed, as though this kind of validation dance was routine. 20 minutes later, the tech came back holding a red-stamped file. Sir, perfect match. This is Shadow 9, Signal Intel Specialist, designed the counter-jam architecture we still use today. Ramsey turned to her, stunned. You built our defense systems? I built their foundation, she corrected. But someone's finally found the gaps I couldn't close back then. The colonel connected the dots. You're saying our vulnerability comes from incomplete recon code? I'm saying whoever's hitting your drones knows how we built them. We built them, they're using our own methods against us. That could mean only one thing. Either the classified designs were leaked, or someone from Ghost Recon had turned. Any idea who else survived? He asked. Evelyn paused. I hoped I was the only one. But the interference, the signature feels familiar. Ramsey made a decision. What do you need to stop this? 48 hours of drone system access and 3 techs will follow orders without asking questions. Done. If you've ever had to stay silent until your expertise could no longer be ignored, you'll understand what happened next. For 2 days, Evelyn worked in isolation with 3 hand-picked tech officers. She moved through their drone networks like she'd designed them, because in a sense, she had. One younger technician, Lieutenant Graham, voiced what many were thinking. Sir, we're trusting everything to a consultant with expired papers? But 6 hours later, his doubts vanished. Evelyn installed new anti-intrusion signals, rewrote fallback channels with untraceable encryption, and pinpointed the interference's origin. Graham leaned in, whispering to Ramsey, She's not fixing the system. She is the system. Checkpoint? Ghost Recon. A living myth. Even senior officers were careful around her. On the 3rd day, the results were undeniable. During a routine drill, 3 drones lost satellite lock and began spiraling out of formation. Any other day they'd have crashed. But Evelyn's protocols kicked in instantly, stabilizing the drones, rerouting controls. No loss. No injuries. That evening, Ramsey gathered the base's top brass. 3 days ago, we were nearly compromised. But it wasn't failure. It was sabotage. He gestured to the back of the room. Thanks to Evelyn Shaw, Shadow 9, this base still stands. A major raised a question. Sir, Ghost Recon isn't recognized anymore. How do we verify her? Ramsey held up a sealed folder. Because I was there, when her unit saved 47 of us in Kandahar. I'm one of them. The room fell into silence. Shadow 9 had not only created the system, she'd kept it running under fire long after her name was erased. He turned, saluted. Ma'am, it's an honor. Evelyn didn't break form. I didn't come for honor. I came because the attack pattern, it belongs to someone I once knew. The room whispered in shock. A rogue Ghost Recon operative? No one had considered it. Any idea who? Not yet, but I'll find out. Ramsey acted instantly. You have full consultant status, security restored. Help us stop them, she replied. I'll help, but I work alone, and I stay off the record. Some ghosts prefer it that way. Evelyn never accepted rank. Never stayed long. She returned once a week, civilian clothes, no fanfare. Her presence alone kept systems sharp. Everyone called her Miss Shaw. They said it with complete respect. Outside the checkpoint, where it all began, a small steel plaque was added in silence. In honor of the one who needed no orders to protect us, Ghost Recon lives on. Evelyn would sometimes glance at it when leaving, and ever noticed it did no harm. Some ghosts recall lives on. Evelyn would sometimes glance at it when leaving, but she never paused long. She had work to do. One day, Private Danner caught her on her way out. "Ma'am, about that first day, I'm sorry." She nodded slightly. "You were doing your job. You couldn't have known." "That's just it," he said. "You weren't supposed to be known." 6 months passed. The interference stopped completely. Whether Evelyn neutralized the threat or simply built a system no one could breach, no one knew. But Northwell's protocols became the new national standard, and when new officers arrived, they were told, "If you hit a problem no one can fix, there's a consultant here on Wednesdays. Be respectful, she might help you." Today, modern drone security across the military relies on the work of someone with no name in any formal registry. Someone who chose to remain a ghost. Not for secrecy, but for peace. Be like Evelyn. Protect the systems, even if the system forgot you. Do the work, without expecting credit, and when they finally recognize your worth, stay humble enough to keep fixing what matters, because the strongest defense often comes from people who never asked to lead. The real legends don't enter with ceremony. They show up with torn bags, worn notebooks, and no digital footprint. They fix things before you realize they're broken. They walk through shadows so others can walk in light.